There is general confusion and misinformation being shared about the port of registry and how that impacts on the cruise ship's home port. To dispel some of the myths, I reached out to retired Commodore Chris Rynd, whose career has had many highlights. He was an officer aboard the P&O Orient liner Oriana, and later became captain of the QE2, and he was the Commodore of the Cunard line. As you might have guessed, the port of registry is the port in which the ship is registered. The name of the port of registry is displayed on or towards the stern of the ship, be it a cruise ship, a ferry, a yacht, or even a cargo ship. Additionally, ships fly the maritime flag of the country where that city is located. As with all types of commercial vessels, cruise ships can be registered in a variety of different ports. In some instances, this port is also the ship's home port, or base of operation. For example, the Cunard liner QE2's port of registry was Southampton, a city in the United Kingdom. During QE2's service career, Southampton was also the main port where the ship was based. Therefore, QE2 was flagged in the United Kingdom, her port of registry was Southampton, and her home port was also Southampton. However, there is no requirement for any direct link between the port of registry and the home port of a ship. I asked Christopher Rynd to explain.
The flag of the ship may, as you've just mentioned, not be a country that the ship ever visits. The British flagships that were based in Australia, home ported in Australia, were flagged in London and as a port of registry, and as far as I know, have never visited there. So that's not the port where they came from. It's not their port of origin. It's their port of registry for the legal structure under which they operate. To call it their flag of origin, as some do, is completely misleading. It's certainly not that. The term flag of convenience is often used in the pejorative sense anyway, and the other expression for it is open registry. Now, by definition, that's a ship that's flagged, meaning the flag of the country it's registered in is not the country of beneficial ownership. For instance, an Australian ship with Australian owners, an Australian flag would be in the country of its beneficial owners. But that starts to become more complex when you're looking in the first place with a global business. If we take one of the big cruise majors out there, they have their company registered in Panama, they have their headquarters in Miami, but the owners are the shareholders, and it's one of the few companies that's registered on both the New York and the London Stock Exchange. So the owners are very diverse, and they earn their revenue internationally. So it's very hard to come down to this business of beneficial ownership.
Shipping is an international business that spans the globe, linking continents and countries in a way that allows for the movement of goods and people. Cruise ship operations fall within the same global structure. The employment of crew can be linked to the structure of the cruise line, its geographic operational area, as well as where the ship is flagged. This means a cruise ship's home port may change based on the season. But this does not mean that a ship's port of registry needs to change.
Once again, we come back to the very international nature of shipping. It doesn't lay up in a port and then set out from that port in order to do its trade and finally return there. As you know as well as I, cruise shipping is in many cases seasonal. The Northern Hemisphere ships leave there in early January, do their round-world voyages, coming to sunny places like Australia with their North American and Northern European guests, enjoying the lovely climate down here during our southern summer, and then go back again. The Australian ships based here as their home port, in some cases for many years. And that is what they call their home port. Home port is not a legal term, but it's what we refer to when a ship is based there for a long period of time and gets its logistical support from that port. So it may be loading its supplies, its fuel, its maintenance, and all the rest of it will be in that home port. So they are a real contributor to the local economy in that sense, and that is, for all intents and purposes, that ship's home port. And so its flag is not related to that, and is certainly not the place that you would think it would go back to. In terms of how this operates internationally, well, a very long time ago, there were a series of international conventions that recognized that this is an international business, and that each country that was a signatory to this international convention said that it would assist in trade and in the movement of crews by signing up to this convention, so that it doesn't matter whether the ship is based home ported in Australia or the United States or the United Kingdom, it will get the same treatment because of these international conventions, and that allowed trade to flow.
Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you found this video interesting. My thanks also to retired Commodore Chris Rynd for giving up his time to clear up some of the misconceptions about the cruise industry and to clarify what role the Port of Registry and Flag of Convenience has in the cruise industry. If you enjoyed this